What is up, everybody? Welcome into Dollars to Deuces. This is a Toilets to Titles production. As always, this is episode number 38. We're talking about NFL Week 8. Can't believe it's that far already. But as always, I'm joined by Abe. You can find him on Twitter at MVinFF. What's cooking, buddy?
How we doing? Just excited to be back here for another week. I can't believe it's week 8 already. I just cannot believe that. But excited to be here. So ready for another week of football. I think tonight is the last night that there will be no football on for college or pro until after the bowl season. So every single night of the week from now on, starting tomorrow night, there will always be a college or pro football game on until like the second week of January.
Hell yeah.
That's good stuff. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I get home on Tuesday, I'm like, oh, I want to turn on a game. There's no MACtion yet. You know, it's the MAC football.
That's the good stuff.
I know, I love it. I love it. But all that starts, I think the MAC starts on Tuesday nights next week, I think. And I saw today that for now on, starting tomorrow, there will be football on until every single night until the second week of January.
That's something to celebrate.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Hell yeah. Rich, I know you had a rough couple days lately. You know, you've been missing football, but hey, let me tell you something. You're not missing any good football. Well, here and there's a couple good games, but most of it's pretty poor. But Rich, you find him on Twitter at FreedomBandito_FF. How we doing, pal?
I'm doing good. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and put a self-claimer on this episode going forward. Before my man Nate goes wild, we are E-rated because we are a gambling show.
Explicit. I was gonna say
maybe a few explicit words might slip out for every once in a while. So kids shouldn't be watching this kind of gambling stuff as we discuss anyways, especially with my man Nate on hosting the show. But real quick, if you guys haven't had the opportunity, a little self-promotion, Mr. Dos Equis, lime and salt, plus you also got your watermelon. They have pineapple and cucumber. The cucumber are the best, but I didn't have any cold, so I brought these ones up to do a little drinking. But yeah, week 8, I'm excited. Man, some good football is going to start coming, and injuries are just flying left and right, man. I don't know what to do, man. Bye weeks are coming, like always. Woo! Football's here, baby.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend for injuries last week. That's for dang sure. It was. You don't like to see that. I mean, I'm never one to. I don't care who you're playing, or whatever. I'm never one to root against somebody to get hurt. You know, I can't do that. So it's just not fun. So as always, you can find the show on Twitter at Toilets Titles. You can listen to us on YouTube like you are right now. If you all hit that like and subscribe button, we would appreciate that. Hit the bell so you know we're going live. Like every single day of the week, there's something from Toilets Titles going live. Also, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. I already said YouTube. Sorry, Podbean, Spotify, Twitch, and Facebook. Throw us an Apple review too. We would appreciate that, a 5-star review. And toiletsitles.com, where all of our content is available, as well as our patreon.com/toiletsitles. My notes are all jacked up. There we go. And 5 different tiers right now. Always some stuff going on, whether it's trade talks or just life in general. So check that out. And we'd love to have you. And thank you so much for the support. I know the waiver episodes are still kicking butt. Like I said, those have been pretty fun to just read through everything if you don't even get a chance to listen to it. So, well,
yes, sir.
It was a normal week last week, I suppose. I mean, not really. I don't know. It's hard to even tell anymore what the hell's even going on. It feels like it's so wild. You know, there's a bunch of bad football, a bunch of good football, and it doesn't seem like anything in between. You know, but I don't know.
A whole lot of surprises this year. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was. At least, hey, I'll say Thursday night we actually got some points scored. That was fun.
Defensively,
2 back-to-back pick sixes. I think.
Yeah.
I know I said to bet the over of the first half. It was 21. They scored 42 points in the first half. So. That helps. That makes things fun to watch. So
they did 21 points in like a minute, I think. So
yeah, I think the Cardinals scored 25 points themselves in the second quarter.
Did you see? I mean, obviously, if you watch the telecast, we know that the announcers are all for Thursday Night Football. They're jacked up. They're excited that they actually gotta be excited for some touchdowns. So that was fun to finally listen to.
Hell yeah. Yeah. There was a couple players props. I think we were all on board for Hopkins trying to get a touchdown. He had I don't remember how many targets he had. It was a ton.
Yeah, he had over he double-digit targets.
Yeah,
I know he scored. He scored me like 18. I think he was
10 for 99.
There you go.
Yeah, 10 catches, 99 yards is what I and that's just off memory, but that's what I I was going up against him in a couple leagues, so I definitely remember that.
I don't feel like I guess I don't know if I was talking to you about this, Abe, Friday, maybe. But I didn't feel like Kyler played that well. Like, I mean, without those 2 pick sixes, I feel like that game would have been really different. It just felt like Kyler didn't really do a whole. I mean, he didn't have to do much, but I don't know. I thought Keontae Ingram looked good, but other than that,
I will say this: he is a healthy version of Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at that. And I think that Kyler probably would have played a different tone in the second half if he had to, but those 2 pick sixes really helped. So because they kind of had some design runs for him at the beginning of the game, which is you don't really see. And once their offense started clicking and they got up, double digits or whatever, 2 scores, he didn't really have to do that. So he just kind of threw from the pocket and just whenever he needed to move the sticks, he threw the ball to D-Hop. So D-Hop was pretty impressive for missing the first 6 weeks. That's tough to do, to come out and be that productive.
Well, he didn't play. Didn't he miss much time last year too? So maybe he didn't. I don't know.
He missed some time last year.
Yeah, he missed some time last year.
But for him to be sidelined for the first 6 weeks and stuff like that, I know he getting his reps in and everything and stuff, but it didn't look like they had any mischemistry at all.
I mean, honestly, Kyler looked a little bit more comfortable in the pocket. I mean, instead of having a quick trigger over, he knew that he had, if his second or third read was D-Hop for whatever reason, he looked comfortable doing it. So,
yeah. What other props do we have? Kyler over 1.5 touchdowns. He only threw one.
Yeah,
he only threw one. Yeah.
Kamara over 99.5 rushing yards receiving. I don't think I can't see my whole screen.
No, I think I lost all these by very minimal margin. So
yeah,
Kamara caught. I mean, he caught I think 5 balls their last 2 drives or something. Because I kept live betting his catches or his yards. I'm sorry. So I had his yards at originally 38.5, and then it went down to 34.5, then 29.5, then 26.5. I think I bet it 5 times on one drive. I won 4 bets off his catches alone. So, so it brought me back is what it did.
Yeah. I had Heineke over 1.5 touchdowns. That hit easily. Ape had Aaron Jones to score. He did. And Lazard over 50 yards. He did. I think I said Commanders money line when I was ranting about the game, but I didn't write it down, so I won't count it. I had Mariota over 34.5. He only had 31 yards. I don't remember what his longest run was.
Yeah, I was looking it up. That's why I had that little guy going like this, because I don't know where to find something like that, because I kept on trying to find it and everything, and I just couldn't find any information. Now he had 6 rushes and they were average 5.5. So I'm gonna assume he didn't get the over.
Well, I mean, the Falcons broke our heart this weekend, and they got boat raced. So it was tough. First loss of the year for them. It is what it is. Though we'll come back strong against the Panthers.
His long as 11.
Okay, so it was a miss.
Nick Chubb, of course, over 77.5. He had 91 yards. He scored a touchdown within 5 minutes of that game starting or something like that too. So just a monster. My favorite one that I hit was Danny Dimes over 34.5 rushing yards. He had 107 yards on the ground himself. I think Saquon had 115 yards. So those two did pretty well.
I'm telling you, man. What did I say? Thunder and lightning.
Yeah. Usually it's not the quarterback though. Abe, I just scrolled past it. You had ETN over 48.5 rushing yards, which hit. I don't know how many he had. And Rich had Barkley over 76.5. Like I said, he had 110 yards, not 111. Sorry. Yeah, Rich had the under the Cowboys Lions game, which was 49, and they only scored 30 points. That game, it was like I feel like it was like 6-10, like for a long time, and then the Cowboys kind of started to score finally. So,
this next
Rich,
one,
you had
McCaffrey over 39.5 receiving yards. Now, I made this knowing he was a Panther at the time. So with the 49ers,
okay.
he
We'll
didn't
let
get
it
much
slide.
playing time, but he was still two.
He looked good.
He looked good, and he was 24 yards receiving that off 2 receptions. So maybe if he would have had some more time in there, he would have easily hit this over. So hint, long shot of the week, we might be coming back to McCaffrey.
Yeah, probably. Texans Raiders, Abe Carr over 1.5 touchdowns. He only had 1 touchdown. Damian Pierce went way over his 65.5 rushing yards with 92. Nico Collins had 33 yards, not 40. So, and Rich had Adams over 79.5 yards. He had 95 yards, but no touchdown again. It's frustrating. Stop throwing the ball to other people. Just give him the goddamn ball. He's the best guy on the field. Seahawks Chargers, Abe had Herbert over 1.5 touchdowns, which he hit. What up, Joe? And Chiefs Niners, Rich had the under of the game, which I think the Chiefs might have almost gotten by themselves. So they was like score like 44 to 23 or something. Yeah, and the under was 48.5. So that game, that was a fun one. Bears Patriots, I don't even want to talk about that game. I had Pats minus 4.5 in the first half, not even close. They got dog walk under 20 first half, total under 40. Nope. Goddamn Bears. It's the best team in the NFC North.
This is why we went explicit right here. This is why we went explicit.
We'll go. I guess I should have talked about our survivor pool first, and I kind of forgot about it because I lost, because I suck, because I picked the Patriots, So we'll talk about it real quick. Yeah, I lose last week. I'm out again. Picked the Patriots. They got beat. Rich also got beat by the weirdest game of the week. The Bucks. They only scored 3 points last week, didn't it? I don't know how
ridiculousness. Yeah.
Carolina just put it to him and stuff like that with no McCaffrey. What the hell? I mean, I didn't get to watch any games, so I don't even know what the heck happened.
Mike Evans dropped a wide open touchdown.
Wide open. You'll never see that again.
He was there's everybody within like 10-15 yards of him. He just hits his hands. And he hit it he caught it and took a step and it just fell through his hands.
It didn't hit his hands once. It hit his hands like 3 times. He just kept bobbling it. And he just couldn't catch it.
Yeah. Oh well. Abe was right. He had the Ravens. They squeaked one out. So
barely.
Yeah. Hey, I took the Colts too. It's okay. That team stinks. I don't think I'll ever pick them again. Week 8. Give me the Bills. Easy one. Sunday Night Football. I got the Bills winning. Abe?
Go ahead, Abe.
I have the Cowboys winning. I like them at home against the Bears. I think the Bears are coming off a pretty big high. So I have the Cowboys this week. And I just don't think the Bears can do it back-to-back weeks.
So due to the fact that I was working late and everything and got to make my survivor pool as the last pick, both of these was who I was thinking, and you guys already had him. Besides this, it is very hard to pick anybody else for a survivor pool this week, just based off the way the season is going. Those are the only 2 I feel comfortable with. So because you already 2 picked them, I was just scrolling back and forth trying to find, and I'm not even comfortable with this one, but I'm going Vikings. Taking the Vikings as my.
I think now that we're all out, I think that it's okay to pick
someone else again.
To pick the same team as someone else, since we're all out multiple times. The only reason I went first today is because I was the only winner last week. So I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Cowboys right off the bat. I wanted to pick the Bills, but I'm like, just being a Packers fan, I can't do that. So I picked the Cowboys. I was the first one on here to do it. So that's why I picked the Cowboys. But I think it's okay to pick same teams now that I guess after this week, we'll be over halfway through the season.
So this is one of those seasons, and I want to say this for anybody that watches this episode, and if you know anybody or if you are still in a survivor pool where you're still alive this far in with the way the games have gone, shout out to me at Frito Bandito _FF. on Twitter. Give me a screenshot of what you're doing, and I will send you a free T-shirt from Toilets to Titles, because this I'd like to know if anybody has survived this long in Survivor Pool.
Hell yeah, I like that.
That a lot. That'd be awesome. Those people are. So back into last week. Sorry, I kind of screwed our schedule up there. I just was out of it. Somehow I was 8-6 last week. Feels good to be back over 500 for the week. Abe was 5-9. Rich was also 8-6. I am 49, 56-3. Abe is 46, 59-3, and Rich is 53, 52-3. So big timer, over 500. Like to see at least one of us over 500.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna tell everyone what I told you guys right before we came on. I was 0-6 from 3 o'clock on Sunday. So any afternoon, Sunday night, Monday night football bets, you want nothing to do with me, because the last 2 weeks I'm 1-12 after 3 p.m. Before that, I have a really good record, and I did win my first Thursday night pick for the first time this week also. So Thursday night, Sunday after 3, and Monday nights are not my jam so far. So hopefully we turn that around a little bit this week. But yeah, it's been a rough season for me picking spreads.
You're very knowledgeable, Abe, and I appreciate you for that.
Not after the 3 o'clock, apparently.
It's weird that there's only 2 teams on bye this week. That kind of is odd to me.
And that would be the Chiefs and the Chargers, if I'm correct.
I mean, a lot of weapons, though. I mean, that's a lot of guys down for fantasy teams, because those teams are loaded up.
Mike Williams is out for like a month, so that's nice.
Yeah, go pick up Palmer if he's available in your league.
No, I'm just gonna start Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins in bar picks every week going forward, because those are the only guys that score on my fucking team.
So one of them's gonna hit. So. I mean,
yeah. I hate fantasy football. So Thursday night game, Ravens traveling Tampa Bay. Ravens are winning. I don't know if the Ravens are any good. I've decided they make me nervous. I don't know. Like, it's hard to pick them anymore. I think their defense is not good. Lamar, he threw for like 90 yards or something Sunday. Like, I don't even know. It was pretty shitty. It wasn't. I mean, not even close. But I know Tampa Bay doesn't look good. They haven't looked good, but there's no way that they lose to a defense that bad after scoring 3 points. So I like the Bucs getting a point at home. I also like Gus Edwards over 44.5 and Lamar Jackson over 60.5 rushing yards. I think the one thing that in years past, it was always, well, you can't run on the Bucs defense. Well, you can run on the defense this year. So, and I know the Bucs can't run the football, but they're going to need to. But, I know they'll be able to throw the ball. So that's why I like the Bucs, and I like the Ravens running game. So, Abe?
I'm awfully pissed off at Tom Brady. The last 2 weeks I bet is over 1.5 touchdowns, and I've had it in probably a total of 10 to 12 parlays. And the week before, I would have hit for a lot of money if he would have thrown for 2. This week he couldn't do it either. So I'm not going with his 1.5 passing touchdowns. I wanted to. I can't do it, man. I want to, because he's gonna do it. At one point he's gonna break out and do it. It's probably this week when I don't play it. But I have to pick the Bucs playing at home. They're too good. I mean, they're 3-4. They're in their first place in their division. They've looked absolutely terrible. I mean, they can't score an offense. Their defense is getting moved on. But then the Ravens, you think about the Ravens, and like what Nate said, like I just don't know what to think of them. I mean, they get up, early in the first half, and then they let everyone walk back in and make it a game. And I just don't think you can do that even against a team that's struggling as bad as Tampa Bay is. So I have Tampa Bay +1. Anytime Brady gets points at home, you got to bet on them. And then I have a couple prop bets. I like Nate's Gus Edwards bet of over 44.5. If Rashad Bateman plays, which I think he is, for some reason, and I don't know if this is just my personal thoughts on this, I think they kind of held back on Bateman and even Mark Andrews a little bit this week. because he really wasn't kind of running routes. He looked really kind of just out there as a decoy. I think they're kind of holding back because they knew that they had a Thursday night game this week. And I think they thought like, hey, we can just beat Cleveland without Bateman and with Andrews just kind of being a decoy. So I think both of them are healthy. I think Bateman gets over 47.5 receiving yards tomorrow night. And then I have a kind of a different prop, something I've never put on here yet. I have Shaq Barrett over 0.25 sacks. So all he's got to do is get a half sack to hit this, and it's plus 265. I think he's got 2.5 or 3 sacks on the year. It's tough to sack, Lamar. I get it, but it's just kind of a fun little bet that I saw, and at plus 265, it's worth betting. I mean, he's got a couple sacks on the year, so I like the Bucks plus one.
Yeah, same here. I did pick the Ravens, and the more I started thinking about it, and as you were talking about the 1.5 passing TDs for Brady the last 2 weeks just being horrible, he can't do it 3 weeks in a row, and this is a make-right game for them. So because of that, I am going to go ahead and pick Brady 1.5 since you ain't picking it. So
yeah, I mean, it's a good
they're
play.
not going
to do it at some point.
They're not going to find a worse pass defense to play against. So I mean, if you're not doing it this week, Tommy, probably not doing it anymore. So hell of a year to come back out of retirement. Got Sunday morning football this week. Another London game. Broncos, Jaguars. Let's ride. Broncos are the worst team in the NFL. Take that back. There's a team behind them still. But I like the Jags. I like first half under 20, total under 39.5. These games all seem like they're kind of low scoring, and definitely the first half because they're kind of slow starting. Russ is going to be extremely tired. He was like working out on the airplane for 4 hours. Those guys said, like, what a douchebag.
I heard that also. What the hell
I'd be pissed if some slapdicks in the goddamn alley doing high knees, like shaking the plane around. I'd throw him out the goddamn door. Like, we're not doing that,
So obviously I'm a pretty big guy, and airplane seats are not the most comfortable. So like to get up and walk around is one thing, but to sit there and do like high knees and stuff while some of these bigger guys are trying to sleep and stuff, like I don't quite get it either. You've always seen guys that are like get up and walk around or stand back by the bathroom or whatever it is. But if you got guys sitting there doing high knees and you're traveling 8-9 hours overseas, like
I'd be pissed. I'd be so mad. I'd be so mad.
Like maybe you should start working on his throwing motion or something, not doing high knees. Like do something.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, I got the Jags, but you also got some player props there, Abe.
If they would have opened a window, I don't know if Russ could have thrown a football into the ocean. So
no chance.
No, there's no way in hell he can. But I do have. You're right, Rich. I do have a couple of player props. I can't believe I'm doing this one either. I have Mel Gordon over 48.5 yards rushing. With Mike Boone being out, who knows who they're gonna bring in next to sit Mel Gordon because they didn't do it when they had Javonte back there. So I have Mel Gordon over 48.5 yards rushing. It's just kind of a long shot for me. It's something a little different. Not really something I really like. Or not that I don't like it, but it's not something I would typically play. And then I have ETN over 18.5 receiving yards. Another kind of play to look at is his longest rush. His last 3 weeks, I think, excuse me, he's had some long rushes to start the game. So, but I like his 18.5 receiving yards. He had 5 targets last week. If he gets that again this week, he's bound to get 18.5 receiving yards. So those are my 2 props I like.
Do you guys think Urban's upset he's not going to London? Get some tail over there?
He'll find his way to get over there.
He'll be in the stands. He'll be in the owner's box. Moving on. I think it's a lot of noise. Bears traveling down to Jerry World. Cowboys are favored by 9.5 points at home. Abe, I'd like you to go first and talk about the.
Yeah, so I'm picking the Bears here, and the only reason I'm picking them is just because of the points. I think the Bears get beat, but I don't. I think they, Justin Fields runs one in late to make this an 8 or 9 point game. This opened up at like 11, I think, 10.5 or 11. And then it's quickly dropped. So a lot of the sharps obviously are on this, but I think the Bears get beat. But at the same time, I think the Cowboys win, 2010 or something, 2012 or 2013, something like that. I think it's a low scoring game. I have the Bears under 16.5 points. And then I really love Pollard's over his rushing yards. It's not out yet because they're still waiting on Zeke. I just saw something come across as we were talking that Tom Pelissero expects Zeke not to play this week. So Pollard's over rushing is something for everyone to look at because that guy's explosive when he gets the ball and when he gets moving, he's pretty tough to beat. So I like his over in rushing yards.
Yeah, me and Nate, we both went with Cowboys, and you better hope it's not a 2010 game because then that just goes against you picking the Bears.
2013, 2012, they'll get a couple safeties or something, little Iowa Hawkeye football action. You never know.
Parsons is going to terrorize Fields this game, and it is going to look
Javon Diggs will have at least one interception. I'm trying to look up defensive props right now. Here we go.
I think this is
they don't have them yet.
By far probably going to be one of the biggest widespread games. I think people are buying into what the Bears did this past week. And I don't know if you're drinking that Kool-Aid there, Abe, but
Abel never drink that Kool-Aid. Abel die of dehydration before he drinks that.
Absolutely. I'm not drinking that Kool-Aid.
All right, so yeah, I'm taking Cowboys minus 9.5. Like I said, Parsons going to terrorize Fields.
When they send out a prop for Trevon Diggs, if he's going to have an interception, I think he will because Justin Fields at least throw him one. I know Justin Fields looked a lot better. They got him some, plays with it to get him out of the pocket to throw. He did make some good plays, but I think it was kind of more of an anomaly for how the Pats played. And the Cowboys defense is good. The cover 3 that they'll run or anything like that, he won't be able to. It'll screw them all up. So yeah, give me the Cowboys. I think they beat them by 12. Moving on to maybe another huge spread. Steelers traveling to Philly to play the undefeated Robert Quinn led Eagles. Now that he's an Eagle now, by the way, they fleeced the hell out of the Bears. Like you pay all the money and we'll just keep him for a couple of years. Like,
I mean, a 4th round pick is all they gave up for that guy. Like, I mean, that's a nice deal.
Yeah.
Man, that's a good deal. Yeah, that Eagles team got a lot better by grabbing Quinn for a 4th round pick. And the Bears they're starving for picks, but that's a good deal. I mean, that guy's he's a hell of a defensive player. So I'll go first in this because I was going
to say. So once again, let's let Abe go first on this.
Yeah,
one.
So I'm kind of the odd duck again here, and I got to be making these moves just because my record's not good. But I have the Steelers plus 10.5 in this game. Once again, I think that the Eagles are blowing them out. Not blowing them out, but I think it's a 3-score game, and I see that the Eagles pulling their guys, and Kenny Pickett's not going to get pulled. Pickens isn't going to get pulled. I mean, they're going to keep their offense out there. So who's to say they can't come down, while the Eagles are resting their guys in the second half and make this, a 2-score game with a late touchdown or something like that. I don't know. The Eagles are really good coming off a bye week. There's certain teams that are really good off the bye week. There's certain teams that come out flat. This Eagles team is really they're really, really good. But at the same time, I think that the Steelers, they're going to be playing all game. Their guys are going to be playing all game. And I think they're going to be going against some second stringers in the 4th quarter. So that's why I'm taking the Steelers plus 10.5.
Hey, the Steelers should have won last weekend. Tua threw like 4 interceptions that they dropped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, and I do have a prop on this. I have Pickens over 40 yards receiving. That I think that's easy. I think he gets that. I think he has 60, 65 receiving yards.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Slay will be on him. I think Slay will be on maybe Deontay. Or maybe even Claypool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he maybe he won't travel. So I think they're going to move Pickens around. And Kenny Pickett loves Pickens.
Loves throwing Pickens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my prop. I like the Eagles though, plus 10.5. The Steelers. I love Mike Tomlin, and they're going to fight like hell, but I just don't know if they can. Like you said, it'd be a 3-score game, and they could just come back. When Carson's he's not on the team anymore. When Minshew's in there at quarterback, and Kenny Gainwell's running all over the damn place, or Trey Sermon, I guess. But yeah, I like the Eagles, and I like Kenny Pickett to throw over 1.5 interceptions, and it's plus 180. So that guy loves throwing interceptions. So yeah, I'll take that all day. Rich.
Yeah, plain and simple, Eagles coming off a bye. Not much to say. Steelers might give it, but yeah, 10.5. I'll take that with them coming off a bye. They're a good overall football team defensively and offensively. And Steelers, they have their bright moments and everything, but
They had their bright moment last week when they covered the against Miami. I don't see it happening this week.
It's back. I mean, there's
got a bunch of
backdoor.
dogs.
They backdoor stuff, and it's just when you have big spreads like that, it's the NFL. It does happen. So
No, you're right.
and I gotta do anything I can to get back. I'm down too far, so I have to make some stupid moves, and this one is probably one of them.
This isn't fantasy football, Abe.
Yeah,
Real
well,
life.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going to put my own cash on the Steelers.
Well, okay, that makes sense. Next one, Dolphins traveling up to Motor City to see MCDC and the boys, who look like shit right now. They do not look good after the bye. I'm by myself somehow. I like the Dolphins. I don't know. You guys bet with the Lions last week and they got trounced. So, not that I think the Lions defense is really, really bad. And I don't think they have a chance to stop anybody on Miami. I don't care who the running back is, but Chase Edmonds or whoever.
Mostert.
I think, yeah, sure. Well, whoever. I like the Dolphins, which is weird because Tua's starting. If he gets knocked out, I think that's even better. They'll probably win by more. But he made some really bad throws last week, and got lucky. But he can make those again because the Lions guys will not intercept him. So yeah, give me the Dolphins or -3.5, and I like the Lions to score under 1.5 touchdowns.
Oh,
Abe or Rich, I don't care.
I like the Lions +3.5 at home. Once again, I kind of went against the grain. I was the first one to make picks on here, so I had a feeling that you guys would be taking the Dolphins. So I was going against the grain and took the Lions +3.5 at home. I didn't have very many people when I first went through here. I kept picking all the favorites, and I'm like, that just doesn't happen in the NFL. So that's why I chose the Lions on this one. I had Dolphins originally, went back and changed it just for that thought process.
All right. Rich?
Yeah, Dolphins at home. I hate 3.5 picks. Anytime there's a 3.5, it's always end up by a field goal and everything. So that's why I'm taking Lions by a field goal. So
no way, they stink. They're the only team.
I think the Dolphins win. I agree with Rich. I think the Dolphins win. I just think that the Lions backdoor cover 3.5.
Yeah.
Cardinals travel to Minnesota. Vikings are favored by 3.5 at home. I like Vikings. The Cardinals look like they're in disarray. I know they won their first home game in like 14 years on Thursday night last week, but I don't think they're. And we'll see how the Vikings do off a bye. But I like Vikings. Rich, Abe, you got anything special to say about it besides Abe's prop?
Yeah, I made a comment earlier about Murray being like a healthy version of Russell Wilson, and what I meant by that is everybody thought Russell Wilson was going to come in and light up for Denver and stuff, and he hasn't been nowhere near that. We all thought Kyler Murray was going to be playing a lot better than what he's doing and stuff, and he's not. I mean, but he's healthy and stuff like that, but he ain't producing like what we thought he would. Besides that game against the Raiders where he did run more than what he normally does, he really doesn't do that much, it seems like, for some reason. So, I think this is going to be a high-scoring game with Hopkins back. They're going to start building even more chemistry. I'm hoping – I don't know what the deal is with Connor, if he's going to be back or not. Benjamin looked like a freak of nature last
today,
week.
So did Darrell Williams.
What's that?
James Conner and Darrell Williams were both at practice today. So
do you think that Keontae and Eno are better than those two guys? I mean, I think they are.
James Conner had like 17 touchdowns last year, but
I'll say this: I think any running back looks good behind the offensive line. This is a good running scheme team as far as for running backs, and everybody looks good when they're given an opportunity, especially after the year Connor had last year. I mean, he freaking lit it up with 8. I think he had like 18 TDs last year. Now, obviously, what's that?
I said like it was 17 or 18. I don't know. Connor hasn't looked like that this year, and I don't think he was going to look like that anyways. Nobody thought that, but I thought Keontae and Eno both give them a little bit like juice. It seems like they got a little more. That's why I like him. But I'm worried that neither one of them is going to see the field if Williams and Connor are back until they get hurt again.
Well, what I'm worried about is it's going to be a running back by committee for 4 dang running backs and stuff like that.
Connor's
they'll
always
dress
going to get
for,
the
though.
first opportunity and everything. I think Eno has stepped in and shown something that where he's going to have more opportunity over Williams and Williams. But like I said, it just kind of messes everything up as far as how you want to look at it as far as running backs. I think they're all going to do decent when they're in it, but they're going to mix it up and everything. And because of that, it's going to affect Kyler the way he's running too and everything. I mean, Hopkins is back. I think he's going to want to throw to him to keep him involved in every game and stuff. It's weird this year how to kind of see that team and everything.
Yeah, I have the Vikings also in this game. All three of us are picking the Vikings, so that probably doesn't bode well. But I have, in my reasoning, is exactly what you guys said, is because they don't have an established running game that's good, and I think their best running game probably will sit this week. So their offense just looked like it had a little bit more juice and spark. With obviously with D-Hop out there was a big difference, but with Keontae and Grigio or whatever you want to call them, they just look better. They look like a better team last week. And I don't think those guys are going to get their opportunities. And if they do, you're not getting anywhere by having 4 running backs. I mean, having 4 running backs is not better than having 2. Everyone thinks like, hey, well, it's good because you can rest these guys and stuff. But if you're in the moment you're playing, especially a running back position, some of these guys get better with more touches they get. And if you're only getting a hand, if they go out and say, hey, it's your drive and we're going to run with a hot hand, if 3 guys don't have hot hands, they're going to force some plays and they're not going to be very good. And I don't think that really that doesn't bode well in the NFL. It just doesn't go very far. So I have the Vikings covering 3.5 at home. I also like the over of 49 in this game. I think the Vikings, coming off a bye week, once again, I don't know how they'll respond. I'm not real familiar with their team either, as if they're really good off the bye or not. But I like that passing attack against the Cardinals. Justin Jefferson's awesome. Thielen's, Thielen. I think Irv Smith is trying to find his way, but he's not really seen a lot of playing time. And now there's rumblings that they're trying to go out and get Mike Gesicki. I think Irv Smith is probably saying, hey, wait a second, I can do this. So I know he's good, but he's just not playing a lot for some reason. So I like the Vikings and Cardinals over 49.
I have no idea why they'd be going there. Irv Smith and Gesicki are basically the same player.
I think
sit there and think about it. What's that?
Yeah, I think Irv Smith actually blocks. Gesicki's scared. He won't block. He's like
and I think Irv Smith
he's like Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Well, what I mean is like they're both. I mean, they're both solid tight ends if they're utilized right. But one week they will be utilized right. Next week they won't be, and everything. And they're both in that situation where they got 2 solid receivers playing opposite sides. With him in the middle and stuff like that. And you would think he would have more production and stuff like that because they're covering that. And the fact that neither of these tight ends could take advantage when you got these 2 receivers on both sides of them that are drawing coverage away from them, it just really makes you wonder. Not being utilized right.
The thing about it, I mean, we've seen, all year long that, all defenses are going to this scheme of too high or too deep or whatever, however you want to call it. And what that basically does is open up the middle of the field. So if you have a good tight end that can catch the ball, I mean, obviously, an Irv Smith like that is someone you really want. I mean, the guy can run. He's big. He can run. He can catch. Use him more. And he's not seeing as many snaps as what he should. And I don't know if there's something other than just what we're seeing on the field is why they're looking at Gesicki. We don't know these things. But I think he's better than what he's playing. I think he's better than what he's shown. So who knows? There's probably stuff in his ear saying, hey, we're looking at another tight end. Maybe he comes out and has a game. But I think the Vikings cover this 3.5. And I like this over at 49.
Here's the difference between the two. I just want to say this. Gesicki, there's actually other tight ends on that roster that really can compete with him and stuff like that and look good when given the opportunity. Irv Smith, there ain't nobody else really to compete with him. And that's what.
No, they're playing some guy last week. I don't even know or 2 weeks ago. I don't even know his name. I'm like, why is this guy in the field? Is something wrong with Irv Smith?
Yeah.
And he wasn't playing. Maybe there's some locker room stuff we don't know about.
Kevin O'Connell is not an Alabama fan. Probably he's probably the Rocky Top guy. So he says you're not playing. Next one, Patriots heading to play the Jets. Jets getting 2.5 points at home, which is weird after the Patriots just got blown out by the Bears. So, yeah, Rich, you're the lone man, so let's hear it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be down on the Jets because after losing Brees Hall and everything, they did make a trade and brought in James Robinson beginning of the week and stuff like that. So he's going to have a little bit more time to practice compared to what McCaffrey had when he got traded to the 49ers last week and everything. And I think they're going to be, I don't know, I think people are going to be thinking the Patriots going to run this team over and everything because of what happened to Brees Hall. They still have another solid running back there by the name of Michael Carter that fill in real well. And plus you'll have James Robinson. They still got their receivers and everything. I think this is a closer game. I'll put it this way. It depends on what QB plays. Is it going to be Mac Jones? Is it going to be Zappy?
Mac Jones. Mac Jones.
So that's the reason why I'm going Jets. Now, if he gets knocked out and maybe Zappy comes in and stuff, maybe that might change the narrative and everything. But I think Mac Jones' confidence is shook based off everything that's been happening and everything. So I just like the Jets. It's at home. I mean, Pats haven't looked the best.
They looked really good the weeks before they played the Bears.
Listen to what we're saying.
Thank you for
what the hell are you saying? I mean,
what?
I can't believe we're saying this. I can't believe you're saying this of all people.
Did the Patriots look good before they played the Bears?
Yeah, they looked terrible against the Bears. Is what more what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, it was one of Bill's worst performances I've ever seen.
It was bad.
Yes.
And the thing, and the Brees Hall injury obviously is huge because that guy looks awesome. But that Elijah Vera Tucker is also out for the season, which hurts a lot, losing him. So that just makes it easier for the pass rush to get to Zach Wilson. I don't know. I think it's kind of the same thing with like how Tom will be this week. I think Bill's kind of the same way. Like, I don't think he's going to let Bob Saleh, beat him. I know they just beat the Broncos. Watch out. Holy shit. So, I don't know. I like the Patriots -2.5. Abe?
I like the Patriots -2.5. Exactly kind of what you said, Nate. It's one of those things, and it's hard for me to bet against the Jets because I'm a Jets believer. But once Brees Hall went down, I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Their season is difficult, and I
love Michael Carter. By the way,
yes,
Abe and I both are big Michael Carter.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him also. Those North Carolina running backs, I'm a big fan of. But it's one of those things where I think that losing him and losing their, I don't even know his name. Nate just said his name, but I think that is bigger than what we think. I think that's bigger than what we think. So I think the Patriots come in here. They're in last place in their division. The Jets are ahead of them. And I that's definitely going to be hung up in a locker room. And not that Belichick's that type of guy, but I'm sure his players are. And I think that makes a difference. That's why I chose the Patriots. It was hard for me to bet against the Jets because I have absolutely loved what the Jets have done the last few weeks. Their defense is Quinnen Williams is freaking awesome. I mean, that dude is lighting people up. He is playing, I mean, as good as anyone on the defensive line this year. He's been awesome. But at the same time, you're going up against Belichick. They just got embarrassed on Monday Night Football. For them to come back and play a local rival like the Jets, who people are talking about instead of the Patriots, I just think that's too much for anyone to deal with. And if there's someone that's going to come back and rally back, I'm going to put my money on Bill Belichick. So I have the Patriots -2.5.
Who, like I said, I didn't watch football this weekend. Who lost that game? Patriots defense or the Patriots offense?
Yes.
Both.
All of the above. C. Scantron test. Pick C every time.
What did Mac Jones, like a couple 3-and-outs, and Bill's like, "Yep, Zappy."
Did you see what he said on the sideline? I mean, you could read his lips. He said, "I'm done," or "I'm not in anymore," or something. And it was like, that was it. I mean, and the thing about it is their team didn't know that was an option, that if he would struggle the first couple drives, that they're going to go a different route. So I think the team was like, what the hell's going on? And then Zappy comes in, they score in his first 2 possessions. And then now all of a sudden you got people going, whoa, maybe this was the right move. But Ultimately, I don't know if it was. I mean, I think they're going to probably try to figure that out again this week, but I don't know if he'll have as quick of a trigger to pull Mac Jones again this week. But you come back on Monday Night Football and you don't score right off the bat against the Bears. Maybe you got to try something different. I mean, so I don't disagree with what they did, but it ended up being pretty ugly anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Ramondre Stevenson could have played quarterback and it wouldn't have mattered. So,
man, that guy's good.
Yeah, he's good.
Gosh,
yeah,
he's good.
Let me just mention he's from OU too. So,
yes, Boomer.
Sooner.
Yeah. He's pretty good. Panthers, Falcons, big game in the NFC South. Falcons are what are they, 7-1 now against the spread in US?
Yep, 7-1.
Like I said, they got boat race last weekend. That's not going to happen again. I know Joe Burrow threw for like 340 fucking yards in the first half. Like that's not normal. So like I don't think PJ Walker's doing that. If PJ Walker throws for 240 yards in the whole game, I mean, I love PJ Walker. Looks good, XFL star, looking good. But yeah, give me the Falcons. I don't know what I mean. I think the Falcons are a better team, and I know the Panthers, like same thing kind of with the Bears. I mean, they just beat the shit out of the Buccaneers. They let them score 3 points. Their defense is good. I don't think it's a fire sale down there. That Bradley Burns, I think is his name, the linebacker. They got offered 2 first-round picks for that guy, and they said no. So that kind of tells me, like, hey, we're not just dumping the whole team. So DJ Moore is not going to be a Packer. He wasn't going to be a Packer.
Hell no.
I mean, we could offer them the next four.
Too big of a name.
I mean, yeah, they wouldn't. They want somebody like Terrace Marshall, somebody that drops footballs. So, and they wouldn't get him anyways. So, I like game. Go Falcons. Abe,
I got the Falcons -4 also.
Getting back on the right side of things.
I don't know. I just think that I think they're playing at home. They got to get Kyle Pitts the ball. When you have 2 first-round picks, and wide receiver and tight end between London and Pitts, they have to get more than 25 receiving yards. It's pitiful. So you have to do it. You have to understand it. You have to realize it. They have to get the ball. But ultimately, I still think they have, more weapons than Carolina. And I think that they're playing at home, which helps. So I have the Falcons -4. There's not much to say.
Nate, let me get this right. So this whole season, you and me have been going Falcons all year on the spread. And the first week, Abe switches on.
No. Second week. I got it right the first time.
All right. Well, okay. Then that ain't gonna go. That ain't gonna go the route I was going. I was about to say I might switch
I know
it
exactly where
midstream.
you're going.
You son of a bitch.
I know exactly where you're going, but no, that's the second week.
All right. So I'm going. Like I said, I'm going Falcons. Like I said, I was starting thinking about. I could wait. Abe jumped on our ship last week, and we lose. Let me go the opposite direction. But I'm going Falcons. Like I said, it was an anomaly last week. Bengals were just hitting on all cylinders. Falcons wasn't. They're playing the Panthers, and even though they boat raced freaking Bucks last week, that ain't gonna happen this week and everything. Falcons at home. Let's get Pitts involved, please. I'd really like to see
Drake London.
What all the hype is about him and everything, because I really feel like we haven't even seen a tidbit of it at all since he's been in the NFL at all. So please, let's just get him involved in the game.
He's just a fancy receiver. Don't let him tell you he's a tight end.
Well, then let's receiver. Just start put him in at receiver, and
he still needs to catch the ball.
You call him a tight end, and he goes, "Oh, you know what? I'm a tight end, so I'm going to go 3 for 33." Like all tight ends and stuff like that. Let's just call him a receiver, and then maybe he goes for over 100 yards.
Well, Mariota doesn't like to throw.
He's going to have one of those games soon. I mean, he's just too good to keep down. But they don't. Mariota is not a guy that can feed him. I mean, they don't have that type of quarterback either. So, but eventually you're going to
waiting for his turn.
Who?
He's waiting.
Oh, I know your guy. Yeah, your guy.
Yeah, just wait.
Does he get in at all this year, Nate?
No. I hope. I don't want him to.
I want to see it. Just
Art Smith knows that the Riddler needs to hang out for a little while till the other Riddler, the gambler, is back. Then they're going to be doing work with Drake London and Calvin Ridley. That's going to be fun. You'll see.
All right, let's go to the game of the week. The Raiders at the Saints. Saints are plus 1.5. Let's just go ahead and start this out by Abe. Why would you be going for the Saints?
I'm picking the Saints to help my guy Rich out, so that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, obviously, I'm diehard Raiders fan. I always pick them and stuff like that. Doesn't matter. I don't care if they're playing the Bills. I'm going to be picking the damn Raiders to cover the spread and everything. Started out scary last week against the Texans, but they got their groove going, and hopefully this is going to be a close game. This ain't going to be no pulling away like they did against Texans. It is going to be a close game and everything, but I do like the Raiders. Raiders are going to win by a field goal. That's the reason why I like this point plus 1.5. They win by a field goal. It's going to be a good game and everything. Just they're going against Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen's a former coach of the Raiders, so he's going to be doing a little extra to try to pull out this win. He was actually the coach that brought Carr in his rookie season instead of going with Schaub. He gave Carr that chance, and Carr hasn't relinquished it since he's given that chance and everything. So I think Carr wants to show something for Dennis Allen. I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce the name right. But I like the Raiders. Waller should be back this week. Defense is still struggling a little bit. They have some injuries. They just made a trade with the Cowboys this weekend, giving up their nose tackle. I don't know what the heck's going on. Their defensive nose guard, or whatever you want to call it. Josh Jacobs been stellar. Top 5 running back. It's gonna be.
They over 140 yards the last 3 weeks.
Yes,
Man,
every week rushing.
Now, I don't think he is going to have that stellar of a game as far as rushing, but my player prop is Josh Jacobs over combined 107.5 yards. I think this, like I said, Saints defense is pretty decent.
And my guy Rocky Sin getting an interception because Andy Dalton loves throwing pick sixes.
I like it.
Go Raiders. Give me the Raiders. Michael Thomas, I think he's retired. He's just calling it quits. Jarvis Landry not playing because why would he? Kamara maybe he scores a touchdown this week. Probably not.
Player you want to watch out. Player you might want to ride this week for the Saints is Olave.
No, it's not. Hey, what's his name? Who's the guy? I told you last week he scored the first touchdown of the game.
You're talking about Taysom Hill. You're talking about Taysom Hill.
Fuck, Abe. Don't. We ain't got time.
Rashid
Shahir. That's the guy.
Rashid
Shahir. I said on the last week's show, I said he's gonna score a touchdown, and he scored his first touchdown.
He did.
That's the guy we saw. Abe.
He was 3.5 speed.
Yeah, he's fast. Quick, dude.
Yeah,
I like the Raiders too. Titans Texans. I'll go first. Give the Texans. I think the Titans stink. They're good at what they do, which is just run the ball because that's all they can do. Tannehill's not good. But where did I just see this? 93% of the money is on the Titans. So, yeah, give me the Texans. And the Texans beat them last year. I don't know if it was both times, but at least one of the times. And in Nashville. So, it's even easier in Houston. Abe?
I got the Titans winning, covering 2, and I got Henry over 100 yards. He averages, I think, 115 against Houston. So I think they just put the ball in his hands, just ride his back, and he gets over 100 yards. They cover 2.
Yep, I'm on the board with the Titans this week too, man. Their defense had a stellar performance last week. I see that continuing. Now, don't get me wrong, Mills is looking solid. Freaking Pierce is looking
Mills
solid.
Is a dude.
He is, man. I like him a lot and everything, but I just, like I said, I think this is a Titans game. I think last week's loss, the Texans to the Raiders and stuff, kind of shook them a little bit. So I see them losing to the Titans.
Yeah, I don't know. They stink. They might. Giants Seahawks. Oh, Rich. I want to hear Rich. If hopefully Joe's not listening because he's going to be mad at who Abe and I are picking, but that's okay. Rich.
Thunder and Lightning, man. Got to roll with them, man.
I didn't put down Danny Dimes.
That's what I was about to say. That's what I was looking at. I go, I do not see no player prop.
They didn't have the prop up. The number wasn't up, so I forgot it. But yeah, he's going over what it is.
Now, it's at the Seahawks. You got the 12th man there. It's going to be very loud there. Kenneth Walker is the dude there.
Hey, that guy's good.
He is very good. Very, very good. But Giants also have a good running back that is having an awesome season, Mr. Barkley and Mr. Jones. They have 2 running backs, Mr. Lamar Jackson, kind of AKA Daniel Jones. But it's going to be a running game. That's all I see out of this game. It's going to be a running game. Defense for the Giants has been pretty dang good this year and stuff like that. I mean, they're performing better than what a lot of people thought they would. And when you got a defense and a running game, you're going to look good. It's going to be a low-scoring game. That's why I feel like the Giants can cover this -3. I am picking the under of 44.5 because of it being at Seattle, being loud. Giants defense is pretty good. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I like the Giants. If you haven't realized yet.
I'm just putting money on the Seahawks. These 2 teams are obviously probably 2 of the most surprising teams in football this year. And I just have the Seahawks just basically because they're playing at home. Giants are traveling all the way across the country. So I have the Seahawks -3.
Yeah, give me the Seahawks. They just beat the hell out of the Chargers because Brandon Staley is the 2nd worst coach in the NFL. Geno Smith's looking good somehow. Pete Carroll's just having a ball. Kenny Walker's awesome. Their defense looks great. The rookies they've drafted are playing so well. I don't know. The Giants feel like I'm taking something away from them and how well they played this year, but it feels like that they have been extremely fortunate for every situation. It's almost like things just go the right way. And it's not, and Dayball's done well. He doesn't put Danny Dimes in a situation he shouldn't be in, but not that I think that it comes to an end by any means, but I think the Seahawks are going to keep rolling a little bit here. So give me the Seahawks.
Now, Metcalf might not be playing this game, so that relies on Lockett handling the full load. Do they have another receiver that can step in?
Dwayne Eskridge.
No, who's the dude that did the Goodwin? Who did the flip last week at the end of the game?
Marquise gave that sweet backflip.
Yeah.
And then they got that kid out of Lenore Ryan. What's his name? Derek Young. Hopefully he plays. That's what I want to see get some reps. That he's like an undrafted or 7th rounder maybe. I just changed my pick on this game. 49ers at Rams, NFC West showdown. 49ers got their dicks kicked in last weekend, but I don't know. I should have picked the Niners, but then I went and looked and 97% of the money's on the Niners. 94%. I can't do that
because they won the last 7 games against the Rams.
I'm tired of that narrative.
In regular season, yeah.
It's Sean McVay's time, and they're getting 1.5. Niners might win by 1. Give me the Rams. Abe,
I got the Rams +1.5 also, and the sole reason is everyone's saying the Niners are going to do it. They should have done it against the Chiefs last week. They didn't. Christian McCaffrey's had a full week. And they're going to dominate the Rams. I think the Niners stole McCaffrey from the Rams. I think that's the reason why they went after McCaffrey. But I think the Rams steal one back this week and they cover the 1.5. I also like this over. I know the Niners defense is really good, but they've given up I think almost 80 points the last 2 weeks to the Chiefs and Falcons, I want to say. And the Rams having a bye week. They're close to getting Van Jefferson back.
He's not yet.
He's going to scheme some stuff up that's going to be off the wall that will get someone open for a long one. It's probably going to be Kupp. I mean, you can't stop Cooper.
Maybe Van Jefferson, or maybe Allen Robinson scores this week. That'd be a cool.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe it's a Van Coronic week. I don't know, but I like the over in this game.
That's my guy.
There's going to be some points scored, so I like the Rams +1.5. And I like the over of 43 more than I like the Rams.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Abe, you picking the over of 43 is might be a long shot of the week.
No, we like cheering for good football. We're not trying to watch it be 7-6.
They know each other so well and everything. Both teams and everything. Now, I'm kind of baffled that I didn't go with the under on this one too, because I think this is going to be a low scoring game. I still think after coming back from the Rams coming off a bye, you would like to think that they're going to have a better game, and I just don't see it and everything. What's going to change from what they've been doing and everything? They get freaking Van Jefferson back, but that just adds another. I don't know.
But what changes with the Niners? I mean, they just got smoked by the Falcons and the Chiefs. I mean, you get McCaffrey and you get smoked. I mean, Debo didn't practice this week yet, so I mean,
I hear you.
You just never know. I mean, it's the NFL; it's upside down, and one of these weeks we're going to see some scoring outbursts, and I think this game is one of them. So I think we see some points scored here, and I know
McCaffrey
I agree.
is going to be the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, they looked. When he's on the field, which I think he's going to be on the field a lot more. They looked a lot faster last week.
He for the limited time that he was in last week, he performed pretty well, and just in the limited. Now, I mean, I don't know if he's going to have a full role this week, but he's going to have at least an 80% of his role going. And I think they're going to see what they got with him and everything. They brought him in to kind of help out Garoppolo. And I don't know. Hint, this is going to be probably my long shot of the week, but we'll finish this at the end and everything. But I like the 49ers over the Rams. They've been, it never fails. When you think the 49ers are going to lose, they win. They made the move to do this.
You know what's crazy is I have the 49ers picking them to lose in this game, but I think the 49ers, if they do lose, they'll go to 3-5, and I think they still win this division. So it's just such a weird spot to be in right now, but I think the 49ers get right soon. I mean, McCaffrey just played the Rams a few weeks ago and lit them up. So I don't know if he'll do it again or if McVay got enough, they got enough tape on him from just seeing him 2 weeks ago, what that will look like. But we'll see. I'm actually looking forward to this game, even though both teams have not played well. This should be a fun game to watch.
Hell yeah.
Agree.
Commandos, Colts favored by 2.5 at home. Rich, go ahead.
Man, you got a freaking new QB playing for the Colts. This is the change they've been needing all year long and stuff like that. Why not go with the Colts? He might come in and light it up, and then all of a sudden freaking get knocked out of the game, and Matt Ryan comes in at second half of the game and says, you know what? This is my team. I'm going to carry this damn team to win and get my starting job back. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm predicting this game. Ellinger doesn't make it through the game. Ryan comes in. And
where's Big Dick Nick? They signed him so long. Is he didn't get play?
I don't know what's
He's a
going
Super Bowl champion.
Obviously, they think Ellinger's better, has been performing better and stuff like that. But he doesn't make it through the game. Matt Ryan comes in and finishes this game out and gets the win. My bold prediction.
I don't know about that. I'm not betting on the Colts again until they win. I'm not even one game because I keep losing money betting on the goddamn Colts. Give me Taylor Heineke and the Commandos. They just beat the shit out of the Packers. I don't care. They only won by 2 points. It was more like 20 points. Yeah, Brian Robinson going to kick ass. Give me the Commandos. Abe?
I got the Commandos, and I will exactly what Nate said. I will bet against the Colts until Jonathan Taylor gets 20 touches a game. I think Frank Reich
there we go.
He's been a horrible coach. He does stupid stuff. Keep it simple and give it to one of the best players in the NFL. I will not bet on the Colts and I was big on the Colts in the preseason. I just don't understand why he doesn't touch the ball enough. So I will be betting on against the Colts until he gets 20 touches.
This will be the game. That's the reason why they brought Ellinger in, because all he's going to do is hand the ball off to Taylor and everything.
Nah, Frank gets bored calling run plays.
Yeah.
Moving on to Sunday Night Football. Packers traveling to Orchard Park to play the Bills. Bills are favored by 11 at home. Everybody's picking the Bills. No shit. Yeah. I had Bills by 30. They're gonna beat the shit out of the Packers like they did the Steelers. Abe?
I mean,
we don't have time for my rant. This is the worst team I've ever watched.
One of these days, stop. What overreaction Packers with Nate. I like the Bills to cover this also. And the only reason why is until Green Bay proves that they can give Aaron Jones the ball, I won't be betting on them. So I like the Bills to cover 11. And another reason why I'm doing it is I was 0 for 6 on after 3 o'clock last week. So I'm hoping that by doing this, that this kind of flips. But I like a couple props in this game. I like Singletary over 42 rushing yards. I love the Bills over 29.5 points. That team is hard to stop. I don't care what defense you have. If Green Bay thinks their defense is good or not, it's been very suspect. So I love the Bills to score more than 29.5. And I love Aaron Jones over 28.5 receiving yards. I don't know if Lazard plays this week because he's been in a sling. So if there's one receiver that he trusts, it's Aaron Jones. So I think that 28.5 receiving yards is awesome. I will pretty much say that by kickoff on Sunday night, that receiving yards will probably be closer to 40. Because especially if Lazard is out, I think a lot of people will be thinking about that as well. So if you can lock that receiving yards in at 28.5 now, I would do such a thing because they're going to be down. So Rodgers is going to be checking it down. Rodgers isn't going to have a lot of time. So the one person he trusts is Aaron Jones. So I really, really, really like that prop of Aaron Jones over 28.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I'm going Bills. Anytime Allen plays against a QB that is known for being a stud, he wants to go out there and out produce him. Allen is going to go over to 275.5 passing yards because he's playing against Rodgers. He's going to want to just throw it out, which he's been doing all year long already. But yeah, easily. And to your guys' dismay, I've been picking the Packers when you guys haven't because I wanted to kind of do that thing what Abe's been doing for me. Maybe this will kind of help them get in the right way by picking against the Packers. So I'm doing this for you guys.
They can't get first downs. Don't pick this team. They haven't converted on a third down where they like over 22 the last 2 weeks.
It's pathetic.
Coach sucks. Fire the coaching staff. Fire LaFuck now. That guy is terrible. God, I fucking hate him so much.
Let's move on. Bengals at the Browns.
Yeah.
Plus 3.5. I'll go ahead and start out. I'm picking the Bengals. And I think this is a divisional game. I always think divisional games are low scoring. I'm taking the under of 46.5.
I have the Bengals also. I actually kind of teeter on this, and I've been hot on the Bengals the last 3 weeks, and they've been getting it going. And I've been completely against the Browns because they're a trash organization. But I actually kind of slowed down when I went to type in Bengals here. This just seems like Bengals Browns classic gross game that doesn't really feature a lot. But the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, man, Joe Cool is playing awesome. I mean, he's throwing the ball. He's getting a little more time from his offensive line. They're starting to gel a little bit on the offensive line. So ultimately, if you're going to pick between Jacoby Brissett and Joe Cool, every single day of the week, I got to take Joe Cool. So I have the Bengals minus 3.5 at Cleveland on Monday night when the lights shine brightest.
Yep. Give me the Bengals. I think 87% of the money's in the Bengals, but I mean, the Browns should have beat the Ravens last week and they couldn't do that. So I don't think they can. I mean, the Bengals are a much superior team. So
and this is another team that you might want to go look at also. For the Bengals are underdogs to win their division. So that's another play that will possibly could change after this week, especially if the Ravens get beat tomorrow night. But I think they're plus 105 or something to win their division. So they're pretty much even with the Ravens. But I think that's a pretty good play. I think they end up winning this division. They had a tough schedule to start the year, and they've kind of right the ship. So my money's on the Bengals to win that division.
Yeah,
I like it
easily. Long shots of the week. Nobody did worth a gosh darn last week, but I saw this one. This is a weekly special on DraftKings. It seems pretty good odds for it. Justin Jefferson and DeAndre Hopkins to both have over 100 receiving yards. It's 5-1. So that I mean, I guess Hopkins had 10 for 99 last week. Okay, well, Justin Jefferson I don't think's had less than 100 yards since he came into the NFL. So I like that a lot. I don't think that's much of a long shot, to be honest with you, but I think it seems too good to be true, so it probably is.
If I were to see those odds, I would have been like, 2.5 to 1, 3 to 1 at the most, but 5 to 1. I agree. I think those are pretty good odds. I have a couple long shots. I have Goff and Tua to each throw for 250 at plus 275. I think that game gets a little bit more up and down. I think the Lions defense sucks. And I think that Tua has had a game under his belt, and he's got two of the best wide receivers in the game. So I think they get up and down and put 250 up, and then Goff has to sling it late to get back into this game, which is kind of been the Lions' MO the last 3 decades or whatever it is.
Oh yeah, it's 3 decades. That's probably better.
Yeah. And then my other prop, long shot prop, is Saquon and Walker to each have 100 rushing yards and 1 rushing touchdown each, and that's 14-1. So I think that both these guys are averaging over 100 yards. Both these guys are averaging a touchdown a game. So to see that at 14-1, I was awfully shocked at that. You know, I don't know. You know, maybe there's something maybe there's a better run defense against it, but you know, Kenny Walker can get 75 yards on a single run. So and I guess Saquon too. Saquon's ripped off some big carries himself, but 100 yards each and 1 rushing touchdown each. I think that's I would not think that 14-1 would be the odds for that. I would think it was probably more like 6 or 7. So that's a healthy number. I like that.
Yep.
Good. And
I'm gonna get my long shot.
Nate kind of mentioned it earlier. McCaffrey torched the Rams a couple weeks back when he was playing for the Carolina. I see him doing it again this week. McCaffrey 75 plus rushing yards, 59 plus receiving yards, and 1 plus rushing TD. I think.
Does it really say 59 receiving yards?
59.
I feel like
I think it's 50.
They did like a little more of a well, regardless, I think it's a little more of a round number. That's kind of funny.
I think it was 50 because I saw that also. I like that bet also. So I think it was 50.
Maybe it was a typo then. I apologize. But even if it's 50, I like it better.
I just even like all 3 of those. Well, besides the golf, I mean, even the golf and 2 of them, but like those other 3, like they don't seem like they're like, well, too good to be true kind of thing. I don't know, but they're all stuff that I will bet and I want to bet because, I mean, none of those seem like it's like out of the realm where it's like, where it's usually like both guys to get 300 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, well, that's not going to happen. So,
yeah, like I think Jacobs has a long shot out there of like 125 yards and 3 touchdowns or something. I'm like, it's hard to get 3 touchdowns in the NFL, but for Saquon to get 1 and Walker to get 1 or
if you're Taysom Hill, you get 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And 0 catches as a tight end.
Or Travis Kelce. He had 4 too. So, but Taysom Hill is still better than Kelce. We all know that. Okay.
On that note.
Shots.
All right, real quick before we've been running a little late. Oh well. Circus last week, our little confidence pool. We actually all had 3 points. So hey, nice work, guys. Good job. That's the first time. Abe's been getting 3 every week. He had 4 one week. He's the best. I'm just trying to like get close to his score. I'll go first. My 5 picks. I like the Bills -11, Bengals -3.5, Vikings -3.5, Raiders -1.5, and Dolphins -3.5. I'm not excited that I like all favorites, but who cares? Abe.
I have the Bills on here twice. That's how much I like them. So I need to find
Bills
a 5th one.
-21.
That's over here cheating. He's over here cheating.
Bills -21. I like that.
So Bills -11 and Bills -22.
Yeah.
I gotta find a 5th one. So Bills -11, Titans -2, the Commandos +2.5, Bengals -3.5, and then I will go find my other one. We'll get to it.
I think the Bears +9.5.
Don't ever say that in one sentence ever again. He likes the Bears. That will be the end of
earlier.
So while you're looking for that, I got the Vikings -3.5, Cowboys 9.5, Eagles 10.5, Bills 11, and also I do like the Raiders at 1.5.
Rich picking on the big spreads. I like that. That's some good confidence. I like all those games though.
Oh, I don't know what the hell to pick. Let's
told you.
Let's do Patriots -2.5. That's the one I'll add in there.
Ooh, okay. But I like that.
All right, we're in now.
All right.
Gotta fix your typos, bother me. Oh yeah. Well, that was fun. I'm excited for this weekend. I'm excited for tomorrow night. I think that's going to be a hell of a football game. I'm excited to see maybe Mark Andrews. I lost in Frankenstein for the first time. The guy took Austin Eckler from me, not Lamar Jackson like I thought he would. So I still have Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, but Austin Eckler's a big hit. But I have Dalvin Cook, so yeah, we'll see. I didn't do worth a shit, but I think it's gonna be a fun game. So, you guys got anything else before we get on out of here?
Nope. Another solid week for all of us. I love doing the show with you guys, man, and just halfway through the season after this week and everything. So let's keep it rolling. Cold weather's starting to come in. I don't know how cold it is over there. It's still pretty nice over here, considering everything. So I'm actually excited for Halloween. I was gonna wear a Halloween costume, but just running late today, so I didn't get a chance to put it on for you guys.
I forgot about that. Yeah, it's actually I was working on a t-shirt the last couple of days. I mean, it's cold in the morning, but the day ends nice. So, I mean, nice on the heating bill, that's for sure.
Yes, that's
God
important.
Score.
That's important. Yeah, we'll look forward to. I'm really looking forward to Sunday night. I think Green Bay gets smoked, but we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of things up in the air. So, who knows? Who knows what the hell is going to happen? It's the NFL. We never know. So that's what's awesome about this league. Yeah,
that's right. Well, hey, good luck and good gambling, and we'll see you all next week.
Peace.